The Apostle John, at the beginning of John, he didn't bother with the fancy stuff. He just said, in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He just gives it to you. Matthew paints a much more subtle picture, which he reveals bit by bit as we go through. But right there in the beginning, 14, 14, 14, you've got this whole number thing going on. So it's not a weird thing. It's not something that stands on its own in the Bible. We've even got Jesus himself. His name adds up to 888. And early Christian tradition said that was because it goes beyond the number 7. And number 8, that's the day of the first day of new creation. I think it's the day in tradition when the woman was made. And of course, God rested on the 7th day. Jesus was in the tomb on the 7th day. And then he arose on the 8th day to birth the new creation. So the whole 888 thing, back in the first century when they thought like this was a thing. So having Jesus as 888 and then having the villain as 666, it's no big thing. And I've just put the quotes here as well, because I want you to see, I didn't get this from Jerry, who lives in his shed. This is just out the HarperCollins Bible Dictionary. This isn't even secret stuff. I mean, just get a Bible dictionary. This is all in there. So we've got Nero. We've had loads of other people like this. I've just got a few of them up there. And we've got people like that alive today. But let's focus on Nero. A popular spelling for the name of the Emperor Nero adds up to 666 when written in Hebrew. Kaiser Neron, Caesar Neron. An alternate spelling, Kaiser Nero, Caesar Nero, adds up to 616. Now we start to see, so you've got the 2 different manuscripts. Some say 616, some say 666. It depends on which particular coin they had at the time. It depends on what he was called in that area. And let me tell you how unsecret this is. I saw a National Geographic program with God was in it. No, sorry, Morgan Freeman was in it, not God. Morgan Freeman was in it, and a non-Christian historian going, oh yeah, we know who the beast is. Let me show you. And she goes, you see here, that says 666. Yeah. And look, it says here 616. Oh, why the difference? Well, Caesar Neron or Caesar Nero, Kaiser Neron, Kaiser Nero. It's just like, I know it's not really exciting. I mean, I know we'd much rather it was Donald Trump or it was good old Joe or Boris Johnson. Now, don't get me wrong. Any one of them can step into this role, but that's not who John was talking about. You know, I'm just like, I think between what we said at the beginning, where it's just a tyrant who is bringing the will of Satan to bear into the earth on the pains of death, they're just moving in the antichrist spirit. In this country, just a few hundred years ago, we were burning Christians at the stake. You know, we burnt people for having the Bible in English. We had Bible burnings ceremonies outside St. Paul's Cathedral. In this country, the Scottish Covenanters, they were all executed for their faith in Jesus. This thing has been going around for a long time. Today in North Korea, if you know someone's a Christian, you could end up being killed. China, really, really difficult. Iran, Iraq, the Gambia. I mean, they kill you out there for following Christ. It's not like it's gone away. And I think in the West, we've had it so cushy and so easy. We've westernized the Bible and we're all going, oh, someone's coming, someone's coming. No, this has been going on since Jesus rose from the dead. This is not new. It's something that just keeps cycling. Some people get really angry with me for this, either because they say, no, it all finished 2,000 years ago, or they go, no, it's still to come. Well, you're kind of both right. That's my take on it. You've got to decide, do your own research. But for me, 666, that was Nero. But then we've had others who've picked up the mantle throughout history. You know, Genghis Khan. I mean, there's been some seriously nasty people. I mean, look at what John says in 1 John. Children, it's the last hour. And as you have heard that Antichrist is coming, so now many Antichrists have come. Therefore, we know that it is the last hour. And let me just say on the last hour there, last hour, last days. In our minds, we think of that as, 60 minutes or just a few sets of 24 hours. That's actually an age. So the last days kicked off when Jesus came back from the dead. So we're now 2,000 years into the last days. So whenever you read the last days, that's not something that's coming down the road. That's where we live now. We live in the last days. And then when Jesus appears, this age will end and a new age will begin. So it's a little bit of an aside, but it sometimes helps us get clarity. And of course, the Antichrist, if you like, back then, the one who really had it going was Caesar himself. He's calling himself the Son of God. He calls himself the King of Kings. He calls himself the Savior of the world. And some people argue Paul, when he was calling Jesus those names, was deliberately lashing out at Caesar. He was deliberately giving those titles to Jesus because Jesus is Lord and Caesar isn't. And then you've got people who go out and they will preach nonsense.